Hello, welcome to the webinar. It's Daryl with Wellspring Business Solutions. Today's session, number 3 in our series of 5, is all about digital storytelling. We're going to share best practices for social media, podcasting, video, and more. Let's get into it. All right, let's get into some of these storytelling tools of the trade. You know, it's all about creating and distributing great content and telling the unique story of your business. So there's lots of tools, of course. We have social media, which certainly is the leading tool in the of all the storytelling tools. Even if you're just managing a basic Facebook page, you're telling your story on the #1 social platform. But it's all about education and entertaining when you can. It is social media after all. So you want to do more than just sell. You want to educate and entertain. We'll talk about some ways to do that. Webinars and podcasts really let you go in depth beyond a paragraph, beyond a 30-second soundbite, where you can really talk about what makes your business unique and establish yourself as an expert, kind of like we're trying to do here today on this webinar. Video, leveraging the power of sight, sound, and emotion. We are hooked on video. We would much rather watch than read. And many folks estimate of all the internet traffic, I think 70% of it is video related, streaming media. Blog articles, great for educating your prospects, as well as Google. When you properly optimize those articles, they can do double duty for you. And finally, email marketing. Many business owners are sitting on an email list. They're not using it. They're not using it to stay in touch with their best customers. So we're going to talk a little bit more about email as well. So let's look at the top level benefits of using these tools to tell your story. You know, when you think about what business owners are trying to do, they're trying to get new customers. They're trying to get their current customers to spend more money with them. That's how you grow your business, right? Lower your expenses, get your existing customers to buy more, and get new customers in the door. That's a pretty good formula. Well, the cool thing about storytelling is it checks all of those boxes. It can, one, help you create awareness. It can educate customers, both your new ones and existing ones. And it helps you build trust as they see you tell the story of your business and educate them on products and services. And that's going to create that loyalty and drive that repeat business. It's going to get those current customers visiting you more often and spending more money. It's also a great way to launch products. And as you're collecting information about these folks who are signing up for your email, for example, maybe you have an email newsletter, it's helping you build that customer database, which is a great asset. If you ever go to sell your business and you have a huge social following, a loyal podcast listener group, a big email list, those are all assets that go with your business when you go to sell. So let's drill down a little bit on social media first. It's going to be no surprise to you that just about everybody and their brother has a social profile. They're on social. In fact, these days it's almost 8 out of 10 Americans are on social media, and certainly a huge increase over the years. When we look at social media by the different age groups, it's not surprising. The huge number of the 18 to 29-year-old group is on social, at least one platform. But even when you look at the 50 to 65-year-old group, and we used to have clients say to us, "Oh, my customers are older. I don't know if they're on social." 64% of that group is using at least one social media platform. When we look at the most popular platforms, we can see Facebook, the 800-pound gorilla, 2.7 billion users worldwide. YouTube, right there behind it. YouTube owned by Google. So many of the things we can do on YouTube and optimize those videos are going to actually also help you in search. Facebook Messenger, Instagram, both Facebook products. Instagram was purchased by Facebook a number of years ago. And then you can see how the others sort of stack up. And really compared to Facebook, just a fraction of the audience. But again, if you're going for B2B, LinkedIn is a great place. If you're going for the younger demographics, then you're going to be looking at TikTok, Snapchat. So that's just a high-level look at the most active platforms. When it comes to daily usage, You can see what we're doing here. Facebook and YouTube, very, very similar. Instagram as well. So this is where folks are logging in on a daily basis. So this is where this is where your power users are hanging out. So then we look at the time spent on the platforms, and you can see the major players here, 52 minutes. So those teens are all over TikTok. And then right behind it, YouTube. Folks are watching a lot of video, whether it's educational videos or just entertaining themselves. They're spending a lot of time on YouTube. And then, of course, there's Facebook again, 35 minutes. You know, there's an old adage in advertising that the dollars follow the audience. And clearly, this is why these platforms are garnering a lot of marketing dollars, and they make it easy to buy. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. So, of course, you can't do all the platforms, right? Nor would you want to, because it doesn't make sense depending on who your target audience is. So we say, you know, let's look at how much time you have to maintain these platforms, and if you have the assets, and who, again, who your target audience is. So certainly Facebook is great for driving web traffic. If your audience is adults, 35 plus, that is a great place to start. We certainly see Instagram is a good balance to Facebook, reaching a younger demographic. And so to do both of those platforms, because Instagram is owned by Facebook, it also can be easier to manage both platforms. Then you start looking at, hey, if my audience is the younger demos, then you're looking again at Snap and TikTok, and you can see the usage there. Maybe you're going after more of a professional B2B, so certainly LinkedIn is where you're going to want to look. But you can't do it all, so it's important to know where your audience is and choose the right platform. If you want to drill even further down on social channels and which one best reaches your audience, this is a great little chart that you can use. We're going to make sure you get a copy of this. I know it may be, depending on what device you are watching this video on, it may be hard to read. But this is fresh research from Pew, and it really takes a look demographically, and certainly by age, income, education, and you can drill down and see which one of these networks is best. So we'll make sure you get a copy of this. Okay, let's start by looking at these different social channels and our friends over at Facebook, run by the evil genius Mark Z, who you got to give it to him. He had a pretty good business plan. Originally, what he did was he invited all business owners to create a page on Facebook for free, and it's still free to create a page. He said, hey, post all you want and invite your customers to view your posts. It was a great way to stay in touch with your clients and share information, products, and services. So that was awesome. And everything you posted, your customers saw it. And that was great. And then one day he said, you know what, we need to unclutter this news feed. And if you're going to post, we're going to use our algorithms to determine who sees what in the post. So if you want everyone to see your post, you're going to have to boost. And that's when the Facebook stock price started to move. And so all those people you used to be able to reach for free, well, darn it, that's not working anymore. And so they also continued to add marketing options if you want to target new customers. And so all of this added up to a continued increase in their stock price and what sits at a valuation of just under $1 trillion. So thank you, Mr. Zuckerberg. I'm happy for you and your new name now called Meta, whatever that means. But he's still the 800-pound gorilla, and a lot of your customers are still on Facebook. So let's take a look at what happens there. So because the organic reach has gone down, if you're not boosting and you're not marketing, you're basically talking to a small subset of your congregation. You're preaching to the choir, right? So let's take this example of a women's fashion boutique. She is targeting women 35 plus within 10 miles. She knows that these are ladies who have an interest in luxury goods. And so when we look in our ad planner, we can see there's over 23,000 potentials in that target audience. So a nice opportunity there. She's done a decent job. She's got 3,400 followers. But let's take a look at what happens. Her organic post, not boosted, is reaching typically less than 10% of her fan base. So on a good day, maybe 340 some folks. When she boosts, that's better, right? She's going to cover her fan base. She's going to reach some new potential customers. But it's not until she turns on the marketing and spends a few more dollars, and believe me, it's still very affordable, she's going to start to really reach a large share of that target female audience that she's defined. So this is why people just have to realize if you're spending a lot of time and effort on organic posts for just a few bucks, and we're talking a $20 boost, you can start to increase the reach. So it's helpful to have a little insight into how the Facebook algorithm works. And this is the latest research just from just at the end of 2021. So they look at who a user typically interacts with. What's your relationship? So if a consumer is interacting with your business, then they're going to continue to see your posts. If they're not interacting, and again, organically, they're going to cease to see your post. So if they liked your business a year ago, 2 years ago, and then they didn't do anything else, they're not interacting, they're just not seeing your content. The other thing that impacts the algorithm is the type of media. And video, we're going to talk more about video, outperforms. We're going to see how much compared to a basic photo post, for example. The other thing, popularity, of course. When people start to engage, they like, they love, they share, that is when that post is going to be seen more than the ones that don't get any interaction. And finally, recency. How new is that post? Newer posts are shown first. So if you're just posting one organic post every now and then, you're really kind of invisible in the newsfeed. So as we look at the sort of formula for success in social media in 2022, it really comes down to having the time, the skill, and the money to do social the right way. Certainly, having the skills and tools to create engaging content is important. Posts that create comments, likes, loves, shares, and again, it's more about quality over quantity these days. And if you have access to tools like Canva, you can create some really unique content that your users see you took the time, and this isn't just some random photo post. Speaking of time, having the time and to vote and being consistent to your social posting schedule. Many business owners say they're spending five or more hours a week just on their social, and sometimes I know they wonder, is this what I should be spending my time on? Because you probably started your business because you're good at something else other than social media. So hopefully there's someone in your organization. The other thing about time is staying current with the latest opportunities and on the various channels. I know our team, this is all they do is spend time in social media, and they're surprised. There's always something new. So it takes the time to keep up with it. And finally, having a few bucks to invest and at least boosting your most important posts of the week, if not more. We have programs now where every post is boosted, and that's going to make sure that fan base plus new customers are seeing. If you can, step up to a marketing campaign, and it's probably one of the most effective ways to market on digital, and also the most affordable. So we can help with that if you're unsure about how much money you should spend there, and if you're doing it right. Here are a few more best practices. Again, we're going to share this deck with you so you can review this later. But again, quality over quantity. The days of spray and pray are over, where you're just posting as much as you can. It's more about quality, and that's the kind of content that's going to educate and entertain, and you're going to get engagement. Humanize your business. Local business owners do so much in their community, and those are the types of posts of all posts that really go viral, that people share and like and react to. So how you're giving back in your community, your employee and customer stories, behind the scenes content. Again, make your business more relatable. We all like to do business with businesses that we feel like we have the same values and share the same interests. Make sure you're replying to comments on your page. Limit the links out to outside sources. Sometimes it's tempting to post and link to an article. Facebook likes to keep people within their walls, so they're not going to, again, that algorithm is going to work against you there if you're constantly linking out. And then track how your posts perform. You want to see what your audience is reacting to and then do more of those type of posts. So as we think of those best practices, our team often follows the rule of three, which is posting valuable tips and ideas, again, demonstrating your expertise, featuring customer success stories, again, establishing that community, showing the human side of your business. Social media is personal. Those ideas that we just talked about. If you're sponsoring the Race for the Cure, or you're giving to Habitat for Humanity, or sponsoring the local SPCA, talk about that. Support those organizations. They'll appreciate your posts. Just let people know how involved you are in the community. And sure, post promotions and special offers. Let people know what's going on in your business and when you have new products, when you have special offers. And after all, they like your business. That's going to drive that repeat visitors. And finally, here's just at a glance, more ideas about good social content. Again, one that I love is connecting with complementary businesses and really taking advantage of their audience, and likewise, they'll benefit from your audience. Also, on the promotional side, if you're doing anything offline, make sure whatever you're doing on radio, for example, you're mirroring those types of promotions in your social posts. Now, video on social media just delivers so much more engagement. Facebook loves video. They prioritize video. So here we are again working with the algorithms here. So when you post video content, it just consistently outperforms, again, those basic image or text posts. Don't forget subtitles with your videos. 85% of videos are watched with the sound off. After all, someone may be watching it at work, or maybe they're watching it in a restaurant or while they're watching TV, and they tend to have their sound turned off. Don't post YouTube links. Facebook and YouTube are very competitive. Facebook prefers not to link out to a YouTube video. So if you have an original video you've put on YouTube, upload it to Facebook versus linking out. Go live. Try Facebook Live. Again, huge interactions there. So if you have the time and the skill, and you have a smartphone, which I'm sure you do, you can create some nice Facebook Live videos. And finally, user-generated content. Invite your customers to take videos and post and share using your products. Let them do a little work on your behalf. So what kind of videos should you have? So here's sort of 5 types of videos for local businesses. A company intro video is great. It starts to build that emotional connection. Oftentimes from your CEO or manager, owner of the business, explaining why they started it. Again, these don't have to be long. They can be short, but it really starts to engage those users as they hear you in your own voice talk about your business. You can also do product explainer videos. These show how your products and services solve problems. Customer testimonial videos are great. We all love ratings and reviews, right? We're reading reviews, and a video testimonial is the perfect kind of review. How-to videos, how to use your products and services. And finally, marketing videos. And oftentimes the content you generate in these other 4 types of videos can be edited down to a nice tight 30-second marketing video that can be used in Facebook ads, on YouTube, etc. If you need help with video, our team has a full video production capability, so we can help you out here as well. Now, one last word about the type of content you're creating. Facebook does not like clickbaiting, and that is a form of sort of misleading posts that get consumers to click to your website. Facebook does not like that. So headlines that leave out critical details, headlines that exaggerate information, headlines that create misleading expectations. uh, this will actually hurt your visibility in the newsfeed versus helping it. Okay, as we wrap up social media, here are a few final best practices around different platforms. Certainly on Facebook, you want to keep your character count in your posts to around 100 characters. Over on Instagram, we see video posts are getting the most comments, so definitely use video there. We talked a lot about video already. When you're thinking about targeting the younger demos, this is where you really have to create authentic, original content. Whatever you're doing over on Facebook that might appeal to mom and dad is not going to fly in these younger demo platforms like TikTok and Snapchat. So you gotta, and this is content that you've got to shoot that's real, authentic, and is going to appeal to that different age demo. And finally, over on LinkedIn, definitely be professional. What you get away with on Facebook and Instagram is not appropriate there. It's also a great place for recruiting. If you're looking to post your job openings, a good place to get more professional, talented people for your business. All right, right up there with video is the power of audio and the power of podcasting. If you haven't created a podcast for your business yet, there's a lot of good reasons to do it. Certainly, just the sheer volume of people who are listening to podcasts to educate themselves. Uh, Nearly 6 in 10 of all U.S. consumers are listening to podcasts. There are over 2 million active podcasts and over 48 million podcast episodes. So most folks are tuning in on their smartphone to listen, and they're listening while they're doing something else. Maybe they're running on the treadmill, they're driving to work, but folks are tuning into podcasting, and it's a great way to educate your prospects about your business. So who listens to podcasts? Certainly that coveted demographic, the 35 to 54-year-olds, a third of that group listen to podcasts. It tends to lean a little bit male over female, although still 44% of listeners are female, and they tend to be better educated. 57% have a bachelor's degree or graduate degree. So depending on who your target audience is, podcasting can be very effective for communication with that group. All right, it's actually pretty easy to get started with podcasting. Certainly, I'll share the few of the benefits here. It's great for increasing conversions on your website. So if you have a podcast on your site, it educates consumers. They tend to want to do business with you. It helps with your credibility and awareness. As a podcast gives you 15 to 30 minutes to talk about your products and services, much better than your soundbite, a 30-second ad, or a short video, or certainly what you can post on social. And it's a great way to differentiate yourself from the competition. They're also great for collaboration with customers and complementary businesses as you invite guests on your podcast. So getting started is pretty easy. I'll just lay out some of the equipment here. The platform we use is called Anchor. It's owned by Spotify. It's free to use. It's easy to record, and they will host and distribute your podcast for you. Equipment needs are relatively minor. Quality microphone. You can do it from your laptop and desktop. You can also do it with your smartphone. But check out Anchor. There's lots of other options as well. If you need help with podcasting, of course, we produce professional podcasts, and we'd be happy to help you. As we start to wrap up here, I'll leave you with one thought. Let's support one another. We all know businesses make up the fabric of any local community, and it's great when you can support each other. So write a positive review about a fellow business owner. Tell your friends and family. Follow them on social media. Engage with their posts. Give them a shout out in your newsfeed. Give them exposure to your audience, and they're likely to do that for you. Share their business, and heck, invite them to be a guest on your podcast. But it's all about keeping it local and supporting one another. So give that a thought next time you see one of your fellow business owners in your social media feed. So we know many business owners are too busy to do a lot of these things themselves. They don't have the time, maybe they don't have the skills. So we offer a full service content team. If you ever need help, we can manage your social media for you. That 4 or 5 hours a week you're spending, we can reduce that down to one 30-minute meeting a month where we check in with you and get direction on what you'd like us to post about. We also produce videos and podcasts if you need help there. happy to do that. We also can create content, blogs, postings for your Google business listing, and we can help you with your email newsletter. So just to give you an idea of a few of our programs. So here's an example of one of our social programs. And this is where we are also tying in YouTube and Google, your Google business listing. So the top 3 platforms, well actually top 4, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Google, we're going to post content for you. So all of the posts are going to be boosted. So this is going to give you 7-day coverage. So your posts are always going to be surfacing in the feed. We're going to cross-post the most important post each week to your Google business listing. And if you listen to our SEO foundational needs webinar, you know how important that is for fresh content. We're also going to create a YouTube channel and post your videos. So each month you're going to get a new video, a 30-second promotional video. So this is a program that we're going to assign a writer and one of our account managers to, and they're going to do an initial kickoff call and then have monthly strategy calls. So if you're spending 4 to 5 hours a week trying to keep up with all this, this turns into about a 30-minute a month commitment where we hop on that strategy call, have a conversation about what you'd like us to focus on in the coming month, and then our team does all the work for you. This comes with monthly reporting as well. So we are going to keep you up to date on your reach and your engagement and how this program is working for your business. So here's an example, one of our customers at the Cody River Brewing. We took over some of their content management for them. We're seeing a great increase in the total number of people we're reaching for them. We were up 40% and when our last measurements here in the last 30 days. So this is great. You can see the spikes of when the audience is engaging with the posts, and very affordable program, but it's getting this business in front of a lot more people. So our friends at Burrell & Associates often poll business owners to find out how much they're spending to keep up with all this. And this was a recent question they asked. How has your company approached social media, and who is doing that work? Well, most often it was someone on the staff, and they calculated on average about over $20,000 a year for that person to management. So that's an internal cost, of course. Some people are using third-party agencies, and those guys cost them over $1,000 a month. So businesses are investing in social, whether it's internal or external. Our team can help you lower these costs significantly from what you're seeing on the screen there. So if you need help with social, let us know. If you're ready to try the world of podcasting, we can produce a podcast series for you. These are typically question and answer formats. We give you a little worksheet to plan out the podcast, and then we will interview you asking you questions about your business. Then we will distribute those podcasts on Spotify, Google, and Apple. You can link to them from your website, your social pages. So this is great content when you're thinking about what to post in social, promoting your podcast. That's going to get a lot of activity. If you're ready to get the word out even more, we can do some podcast marketing. These are audio ads that are going to appear on other podcast shows, the shows that have a lot more followers, but we'll be able to target them based on your industry and who you're trying to reach. And finally, of course, we can market them in social media. So this is an affordable program, but again, if you have a product or service that's unique and it takes a little bit more to explain what you do, podcasting is a great way for you to go in depth and demonstrate your expertise. All right, that concludes our session. I thought I'd give you the sort of recap of the key takeaways. Again, content marketing, great for driving new and repeat business. You want to match your target audience with the right platform, and we looked at lots of demographics today. Social success these days is a combination of time, skill, and money. It's become a pay-to-play world out there. Follow the rule of threes to create that engagement, and please use video. That generates, what was it, 8x engagement of a basic photo post. Podcasting can be a powerful and inexpensive tool for telling your story. So we gave you some tips, and using platforms like Anchor to easily create your own podcast. Shop, support local, guys. Let's support one another. And if you're too busy to DIY any portion of this, we'd love to help you. So again, thanks for your time today. Thanks again for tuning into the webinar. For more information, please reach out to Nikki. You can see her contact information on the screen, or simply visit us online at wellspringbusinesssolutions.com. Thanks again for listening. We'll talk to you soon.